What a fun win. I think I'm most excited for our seniors because this team found a way to help them go out victorious, to go, back-to-back with wins at their place last year, the opportunity here at our place, and that's something they can cherish and they can hold with them for the rest of their lives. Anytime you have an opportunity to sweep your rivalry in your last 2 years, man, that's fun. I sure hope these two young ladies are able to do the same because we want to continue to keep up the rivalry. And as you saw, they never gave up. They kept fighting. They had an answer every time we challenged them. And I think that's what I appreciate about it. It was just a really hard-fought battle. Got pretty chippy like I think we all knew was going to happen. But both teams were able to stay relatively poised afterwards, and that's what I like. In the end, it was a game where we just fought harder, to be honest with you, and found a way to win once again. Because if you take a look at some of these stats right now, there's some critical ones, but there's some I think that would shake us up. What I like the most about this game, though, is that the rebounding column is positive for us, and that's something that we haven't had in a while. It's something we've been talking about, and that largely has to do with the fact this young woman here on my left, in Ericka May. I think it's been tough for Ericka to accept the role of being, a tough defender, a gritty defender for us, and not somebody necessarily that we're looking for to score. But now that in the last couple practices, I think she's truly accepted that role. She's not accepted it, but she's embraced it. She's now taken off since she's embraced it, which you see. She's had the opportunity here with 14 rebounds. That's awesome. 3 assists. She's done a really good job with her ball management as well and making decisions as far as distributing it. And I think that's just a sign of maturity for a young sophomore. And then obviously Taeler Deer, the question was asked earlier, are people going to be surprised? I said no, because they had that opportunity to be surprised last year, and she's already been Player of the Week. So it's going to be important for us that we continue to surround Taeler with players who make plays, which we have, but also helping her become a better player by understanding where and how she makes her teammates around her better. But ultimately, I'm going to go back to Ericka and the rest of the team regarding defense, that we need to continue to push ahead defensively. I think once we do, and when we continue with our good shot selection with the scores we have, we'll be okay. We're going to still be able to stay competitive, knowing that we've had just a litany of mishaps regarding injuries and players out. But what a fun game. I want the players to have fun and enjoy it. What a great way to go into finals.
To start the fourth quarter, look like UTSA came out in the zone press, forcing a lot of turnovers there. What you tell the team to kind of get them out of that funk?
Had to call a timeout, and we just had to make sure that they knew where to go. I think it's hard sometimes because we're limited on timeouts. I knew it was going to be a close game. I really wanted them to see it, so we're hollering out to them. But I know a lot of times you're out there and fans are going like, what is she saying? So calling the timeout, making sure that they understood where to go. And it goes back to Ish where I told you what happened with Duke. Call a timeout. This team is really good with timeout response. Okay, got it. Now I know what to do. They executed just great. And so I appreciate that, so that's what we did.
Once in the first half and once in the second half, they started to close that gap. What do you tell your team in those timeouts to keep their composure?
I think the team was relatively composed. I think they understood that we had to get defensive stops because every time we scored, they had an answer. Every time we scored, I think the only time I really got after, they'll tell you, is that I told them at halftime Mitchell Cole was going to bring it. 30's going to bring what she brings, period. But Mitchell Cole she's going to take the team, carry them, and try to get after it. It came down to Texas State and UTSA for her in the recruiting process. And so I clearly understood that, tried to preach it. We saw what happened. Then we decided to mix it up, wanted to start denying her the ball more, making it tougher for her, and I think that was critical for us.
Ericka, you told me, this is an exciting game for you, and you had a lot of big emotions during the game. I saw you. I think I forgot who you hit with the pass, but it was you just let out a big yell. What was it being like on the court? We saw what it was like on the court, but what was it just like in the game, in the moment?
Sometimes we get down on ourselves, so I just consistently try to bring energy. So if it means yelling, getting them to go, just doing some outbursts, then that's what I was doing. And because I've noticed if I keep on bringing energy, people will tag along with me, and we always get positive outcomes. So.
Taeler, when was there, what part of the game, was there a part of the game where you said, hey, I'm gonna take over? And what part was that? It seems like the first quarter from then on, you made a conscious effort to say, hey, I'm taking over.
I mean, all game I feel like I should take over because my teammates look to me to score most of our baskets. So all through the game, I'm looking to take over and get us easy buckets.
I think it was after the UNT game. It was your birthday, so that was kind of a motivation for you. What was the motivation here? Was it just rivalry, UTSA?
I don't know. I just been in the gym, so they drive and kick it. I'm gonna knock it down. I'm gonna try. So that's all.
Coach Tasha, the freshman Tasha, is 3 for 4 from the three, and she had 2 steals. Can you talk about her performance tonight?
Tasha's been very consistent for us. She's probably our best three-point shooter at this point on paper for sure. But we knew that. I say this all the time. Tasha reminds me she's a hybrid player of Ariel and Taeler coming in because she's got point guard skills, but she's a big-time scorer. She's a high school kid who scored 50 points. That's hard to do. I don't care who you are, where you come from Nixon, Missouri. So I think once she understood what it means to be in college, what it means to be a student athlete, and she started to get familiar with the day-to-day routine, it made it more comfortable for her to understand her role and what it is she needs to do. She's still growing in the game. I mean, really proud of her. By far, if you had to say production-wise, she's probably our most productive player per minute played. At this point, obviously, with the way she's able to put up points, she still needs to grow defensively for us, but I think the kid's pretty talented, and is she no different than these two young women who are just sophomores for us? As she grows, our team will continue to grow, and it's nice that she has someone like Ariel to be there to balance her out. And it takes pressure, honestly, off of both Ariel and Kate and Taeler to have to score. I mean, she really spreads people out.
This one's kind of Ericka and Coach after, but you and Caitlin kind of had the assignment of Tisha Smith some of the times guarding her in the paint. What was your strategy, kind of going up against someone who's trying to outmuscle you, but you're not backing down?
Just stay in front of her at all times because she's a strong girl. So, like, she would pin you. You just have to move, like, scoot back, let her fall back on, and then get in front of her. So we just try to stay in front because we knew our team will have her help side. So.
And what was kind of I saw when she first entered the game, like, everyone's heads kind of turned to her when she got the ball. Like, Caitlin was fronting her at one point. Like, she still had kind of a productive game, but
She
what
did.
was the mindset of going into this?
We had to mix it up on her. That was huge. Being able to mix it up on her, making it difficult for her to get to her touches. So with the players that we could help off, which she put quite a few shooters in there at times, we would try to help or dig in. For sure, like Ericka said, it was really important. Initially, we did a poor job against her in the first half, the first 2 quarters, of making sure that we had nice deep help side to help. Eventually, we got there to deep help, but then that second rotation wasn't there on the back side. I think eventually it started to feel really good for some of our players where they were able to front her. What she was able to do then was just come down off of a screen and roll, which got her open looks. Because we were fronting, they found another way to get her open looks, which was successful for them. But our kids still battle. They try to stay loose, like they said. And that kid is tough, as you saw it there. She is a beast, and I like the fact that we have really smaller guards guarding her that they were able to battle. And that's the team's heart, and that's exciting.
Coach C, was there ever a point you thought you were going to put them away? You're up by 9, then you go up
No,
by 8.
not in rivalry games. I'm
And-
sorry. As a coach, there's never. I swear, if we were up by 20, I still wasn't going to feel good about it. You know, I know that people would take your starters out. I was like, no way. Not a rivalry. I just think they're just that extra special for those of us that were student athletes. Man, I just remember those battles, and now coaching all these years, the rivalry games, you've just seen too much. I become extra conservative in a lot of ways. And so, no, I never felt I didn't feel comfortable till that final horn went off, to be honest with you.
Taeler, can you kind of, without getting too graphic, kind of let us know some of the stuff that was going on down on the floor between the two teams? There was a lot of, especially kind of towards the end, the last 7 minutes of the game, between you and 30, and then you and 12, and then 12, and
It just got chippy. She had Ericka, like, I don't know. I seen it and it looked physical, so I just tried to push off of it, like, cause I was just having my teammate back, but it wasn't that serious to me. But with guarding 12, they told me to deny her. She was hot, so I was just denying her the ball.
Coach, the team's now 3-0 at home. What does that mean for the team moving forward? More confidence?
Yeah, that's exciting. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily look at that. I really just leave that to y'all with all the little fun facts. Actually just watched a comedian talking about Americans in sports and how we have facts that go beyond what might be normal, you know. On the 5th Sunday of the days, just kind of, yes, you know exactly who I'm talking about, Trevor Noah. I find it comical. I was like, you're right, and I think those stats generally are pretty neat. But regarding being 3-0 and home, I think that's fun. I think it's more for the players' confidence. I think as a coach, as you go in, you're really looking at how we're going to continue to get better, knowing that we're getting better every game, but so is our opponent, and then preparing ourselves really for a tough Sun Belt conference where we had 5 teams in postseason play.
Coach, after having so many injuries so far this year, seeing Caitlin go down for a while, what was going through your head and what?
I actually was pretty. I'm actually relaxed on all injuries. Again, just because you never know. You really never know. To be honest with you, when Erin went down with hers, she herself didn't think that she had anything wrong, and it wasn't until she went to the doctor that we found out that it was more severe than what we thought. So when Kate went down, I wasn't honestly nervous. I don't get nervous. I see the nervousness in their eyes, but I don't get nervous. And when I got over there, Kate's like, "Oh, I'm cramping really bad, coach." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
So
We found, yeah. She had just a really. It was her non-injured leg. It just locked up on her. Which is good, but I really try not to. The team doesn't need any panic. They just need to know what the next step is. And anytime a kid goes down, that's kind of where I'm at.